In this video I'm going to show you how to fit up the SpydaBot Scorpion. First you've got the base. The base has already got its legs bolted on. You've got the base screw assembly, which is a washer, a spring washer and a button head 1/4 inch screw. Then you've got the bridging bracket with its fasteners. I'll show you how to fit those. And you've got the magnetic assembly. Okay, well, let's get started with the base. With the base, you basically just open out the legs, like so. And these are the screws you'll need: the washer, the spring washer and the screw. Now we're going to fit up the gimbal onto the base. This is the rear part of the gimbal. The remote control is pointing back towards you. The pistol handle grip is up. The rear part of the SpydaBot is that curved section. Try and line those up. And with one hand, you'll need to balance that in position so that they're lined up. And then the large washer, the spring washer, and the bolt, goes on. And we will give that only a slight notch because later on we're going to have to move this back and forth to adjust it. Don't over tighten it at this stage. Now we'll turn it over. Turn that over, and now we're going to fit up the bridging bracket using the 1/4 inch button head screw with the spring washer. We'll have to unlock the pan so that we can get access to it. Line that up, and with the Allen key, give that a little bit of a turn so we can get that notched up as well. And we've got to pay attention to these holes because they've got to line up. And if we need to adjust it, this is when we need to adjust it back and forth. And we can actually tighten this up properly. You don't have to overdo it. And now we're ready to put in the side bolts. With the side bolts, we need the nut and bolt that's supplied. Make sure the holes are lined up on both sides of the bridging bracket. Poke them through using your nut. Okay, then we'll use a 12mm spanner. Give that a notch up until she's nice and firm, and do it on both sides. Now the base needs to be tightened from the bottom till it's nice and firm. Okay, we'll fit up the magnet now. You take the bolt and the grommet. One of the grommets goes at the top, the other grommet goes at the bottom. Now I prefer to use Loctite on these so that they don't undo themselves. So I would recommend that you put some Loctite, and then repeat on all 6 magnets. Now we're going to put the L bracket onto the tilt plane. So the way to do that, you'll notice a little arrow there and a little arrow there. Poke that in and slide it down. It's really simple to do. Now you won't get this out unless you lift that there's a little silver button there. You got to lift that to get it out. To put it in, place it in place, slide it down, it's in. At this stage, it doesn't matter where it's at, just lock that lever. Next, we'll put the Arca clamp onto that tilt plane that we just fitted up on the old bracket. I've unlocked the planes so that I can get access to it, but you'll see how there's an arrow there and an arrow there, and you slide this in like that. Whoops, slide this in like so. It will go past that little lock. It won't come out unless you press that lock. Okay, I'll do that again. Slide that past. There's a little lever under there. That's your locking lever. At this stage, it doesn't matter where it's at. Just lock it away leave this also unlocked. Now before we fit up the Arca rail, we're going to convert this to a Picatinny clamp. And the reason for that is because on the bottom of thermals, we're using pick rails. It's very common that the pick rails are used these days because you want access to charging ports, and it's really slimline as well. It's not bulky, doesn't get in the way. See also on the infrared that it's got it on there too. So this is quite universal now. Fits on everything we do. You can use the Arca rail direct if you wanted to use the Arca rail direct, but some of the times there are charging ports that might get in the way. So the pick rail is probably the better option, and it's not too bulky either. It's going to give you a little bit more elevation and away from your charging ports. So yeah, we recommend this little pick rail. In the little black box there'll be a couple of little screws, little T-screws. We'll need them. We need 2 of them. And what we want to do is take these screws, line them up to the pick rail, or a pick rail clamp I mean. Once that's on there, you can adjust that. I tend to go into the middle. That's probably the best place to put it. You can adjust it back and forth if you like, but go to the center because we're going to try and balance everything up anyway. And give that a bit of a turn. And notice that there's a little, we get that out of the way, there's a little arrow there. So that arrow tells you that arrow there matches up, and what you got to do is slide it in from that side. If you try to do it any other way, it's not going to work. You won't get that out unless you push this little black button. Okay, again, we'll push this through and we'll tighten it up in the center to start off with, because in the balancing section we're going to need to adjust all these positions to get it all to balance up. Okay, this is a good opportunity to show you that I've made a mistake when fitting this up. You don't want this lever on this side. You want the lever to be on the other side of this, so we'll spot that around. This time I've got the lever on this side. That's going to give me access to the lever so that I can touch it when I need to. Okay, so now we've got that in, we can lock that in the center as we did before. And now we will, using our pick rail, attach it to our pick rail clamp. Okay, now we've got that nice and tight. Now you'll see that it's not balancing. We have got another video explaining how to get this to balance.